3 Olympic champions, 1 empty lane, and 9 weeks until the World Championships gunfires in Tokyo. That's the tension humming through Hayward Field as the 2025 US Championships entry lists drop. And the surprises are big enough to rewrite every medal chart you've seen this year. First shock, Quincy Hall is out of the men's 400. The reigning Olympic gold medalist scratched late Monday with hip tightness, turning what looked like a coronation lap into an open hunt. Suddenly, 34-year-old Vernon Norwood, comeback story Akeem Bloomfield, now running under a U.S. passport, and 19-year-old college rocket Willington Wright are staring at a podium spot they never expected to touch. One DNS and the quarter-mile storyline flips from "Can Hall chase 43 again?" to "Which dark horse even survives the rounds?" Flip to the straightaway and you get the exact opposite. Every heavyweight signed up twice. Noah Lyles is doubling, hungry to erase last week's London stumble. Fred Kerley adds both the 100 and 200 meters after a 19.81 season's best in Stockholm. Christian Coleman, still the quickest starter on earth, joins them for the first time since 2023. 3 prime stars, 2 title fights, think Green Bolden Lewis. Energy with 2025 spikes. The women's dash sheet packs equal intrigue. Sha'Carri Richardson arrives with more question marks than wins. Her best this season is a win-legal 10.86, and a spring ankle flare kept her on the rehab bike longer than planned. She'll need championship sharpness to fend off Gabby Thomas, whose world-leading 21.77 seconds in Kingston shows her bend form is dialed. Lurking behind the headliners are Melissa Jefferson Wooden and NCAA champion Jamisha Ford, both on the cusp of that sub-11, sub-22 club that can ruin a favorite's day. Then comes the twist nobody predicted. Sydney McLaughlin left the 400-meter hurdles blank. The world record holder will race only the open quarter, surrendering the event she's owned since 2019. Is it hamstring caution, a strategic setup for a late-season 400-400H double, or a quiet handoff of the throne to Femke Bol? One unchecked box just sent every hurdles preview back to the rewrite desk. Remember the rule: top 3 or stay home. Tokyo doesn't care about past medals. It cares about who runs fastest in Eugene on a hot August weekend. Every ambitious double, every surprise scratch, and every shaky season's best listed on this entry sheet will decide who stands on a podium in October, and who spends the next year replaying a single bad step. Stick around. Next up, a punch-by-punch breakdown of the 100 and 200 heats, where the hidden landmines sit, who actually owns top-end speed, and which big name could leave Hayward Field with nothing but a suitcase full of what-ifs. Men's 100 meters first. Noah Lyles walks in with a season best of 10.00 seconds, a time that looks ordinary until you remember he jogged the last 20 meters in London after a botched start. Fred Kerley owns 2025's fastest legal mark among Americans, 9.89 seconds from early June in Kingston, plus a fresh 19.81 in Stockholm that says top-end gears are spinning. Christian Coleman, still the world's quickest off the blocks. His 9200ths reaction average means he can give up a meter at 60 and still appear even at 80. Wildcard alert: 19-year-old Tamars McCallum, whose legal 9.93 seconds at the NCAAs came with a negative headwind. If he survives the rounds, and that's a big if for a collegiate taper, he could shove a veteran into lane 9 for the final. First round landmine, Kerley and Coleman drew the same heat on Thursday, which means one marquee name will show cards earlier than planned. Move up to the 200 and Lyles regains clear-cut favoritism. His curve work in Stockholm, 19.79 seconds plus 0, 3 wind, looked eerily like the 19.3 he split on the relay anchor last summer. Kerley's 20.10 from April suggests bent rust. Coleman's straight-line bullet power fades a shade on the half lap. The real spoiler could be Kenny Bednarek, who skipped the 100 entirely to focus on the turn and owns a season-best 19.87. Women's dash up next. Sha'Carri Richardson hasn't broken 10.85 seconds this season, but she owns the only sub-10.7 among Americans. History matters when the gun echoes off Hayward's steel roof. Gabby Thomas arrives sharper, a 10.88 legal run in Kingston, and the world-leading 21.77 in the half lap. Melissa Jefferson Wooden's 10.87 suggests she can yank a big name into panic mode if the wind cooperates. And watch the teenager. Jamisha Ford clocked 22.03 seconds at NCAA Outdoors, the fastest collegiate turn since Allison Felix's prep days. The women's 200 looks like Gabby versus the curve. Her Kingston split showed she exits the bend a quarter step ahead of a world record pace. Maintaining that edge down the straight decides gold. Sha'Carri can't match her in the turn, but she owns the fiercest closing 30 meters in the field. If Richardson stays within a stride at 150, every eye in the stadium shifts to the finish clock. Here are the predictions. Men's 100, Coleman out fast, Lyles closes, Curley battles for the lean. Women's 100, Sha'Carri by a whisker if conditions are calm, Gabby if the wind swirls. Men's 200, Lyles showtime, Bednarek surprise silver. Women's 200, Gabby in lane 6, Richardson chasing daylight. But predictions melt when the gun fires. One false step at 40 meters and a season's worth of training becomes nothing but a stat on the wind gauge. Quincy Hall's late withdrawal leaves a gold medal-sized hole in the men's 400. The veteran most likely to fill it is Vernon Norwood, fresh off a 44.34 second lap in London, his fastest in 6 seasons. Akeem Bloomfield, the Jamaican-born NCAA record holder who finalized U.S. citizenship last winter, answered with 44.37 seconds in Paris, proof that his top-end gears are back. 19-year-old Willington Wright lurks as the fearless wildcard. His 44.43 seconds at the NCAAs came against a slight headwind. If he goes out in 21.5, he can rattle any veteran's race plan. Semifinal assignments matter here. Norwood and Bloomfield landed in the same heat. One poorly timed lift off the final bend, and a credentialed favorite could be relegated to lane 9 of the final, or worse, watching from the warm-up track. On the women's side of the flat quarter, Sydney McLaughlin returns with a personal best of 48.74 seconds, but no serious 400 since last August. Her hamstring survived spring rehab, yet flat races demand a lactic tolerance you cannot simulate in a workout bay. Britton Wilson owns the year's quickest American time at 49.20 seconds and has already raced 6 finals since April. If Wilson draws lane 5 and Sydney lands in 6, that backstretch duel could decide everything. Wilson's tempo rhythm against the raw engine that powers the world record in the hurdles. Talitha Diggs and Elia Butler hover just under 50 seconds. Add Oregon heat and only 3 available tickets to Tokyo, and the margin for error is the width of a lane stripe. Switching to the men's long hurdles, Rai Benjamin must turn his 46.54 second Stockholm stunner into a must-win performance. He has not lost to another American since 2022, but world-class depth looms behind him. CJ Allen with 47.30 seconds and Trevor Bassett at 47.41 are a clipped barrier away from an upset. Lane preference adds intrigue. Allen loves the tight rhythm of lane 4, while Benjamin prefers the wide-open visual of lane 7. Semifinal seeding could load fatigue onto one set of legs before the medal round even begins. With Sydney out of the women's 400 hurdles, Jasmine Jones senses her moment. She has delivered 53.18 seconds this season, with a 14-stride pattern she claims will hold to hurdle 8. Anna Cockrell sits at 53.28, and Dalilah Muhammad, still capable of 52.8 when the hamstrings cooperate, waits for any hint of inexperience. Jones must stay calm through her stride switch. One stutter invites Muhammad's championship savvy to pounce. Paper predictions: Norwood clocks 44.2, Wright sneaks the silver, Bloomfield holds bronze. Sydney grinds out 49.3 ahead of Wilson and Diggs. Benjamin wins by daylight, with Allen and Bassett filling the US roster. Jones delivers a breakout 52.9, Muhammad edges Cockrell for the last ticket. Yet paper means little when the gun echoes. A single misjudged split or brushed hurdle can rewrite the Tokyo boarding list in the span of 50 seconds, which is exactly why the quarter-mile events keep coaches and fans chewing their nails long after the straightaway drama is finished. Time to put real chips on the table. In Eugene, only 3 athletes per event lock automatic tickets to Tokyo, but one sneaky loophole still hovers over the sprint scene: the Diamond League final in Zurich on the 29th of August. Win your event there and a wildcard bypass drops straight into your lap, no matter what happened at USATF. That backdoor has saved more than one superstar and torpedoed more than one 4th-place finisher who thought the team was set. Start with the 100 meters. If Noah Lyles, Fred Curley, and Christian Coleman finish in that order, everyone breathes easy. But imagine Coleman clips a start, lands 4th behind Tamars McCallum, and misses the roster by hundredths. He could still chase Zurich, but the Zurich field is invitation only, and meet directors love fresh faces. McCallum's college to pro buzz might steal that lane, leaving the reigning world indoor record holder at home. The same knife edge hangs over Sha'Carri Richardson. She has the fan base and the Nike backing, but her season best sits at 10.86 seconds. if Gabby Thomas, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, and Jamisha Ford seize the 3 spots. Sha'Carri must pray for a Zurich slot and then outrun a European field on unfamiliar blocks to make worlds. High drama for a sprinter who thrives on electricity but has not yet caught fire this season. The 200 holds its own trapdoor. Kenny Bednarek skipped the 100, betting everything on the half lap. If he finishes 4th behind a resurgent Ariane Knighton, his only escape is Zurich. Knighton, still untouchable in straight-line turnover, could decide to run Brussels instead, leaving Zurich minus the marquee name meet promoters want. Bednarek misses twice, Eugene and Zurich, and the defending Olympic silver medalist watches Worlds on his couch. Quarter-mile athletes face a different puzzle. Vernon Norwood is 34. His body prefers one big peak, not a Eugene plus Zurich double. If he grabs a top 3, he might even skip Switzerland to preserve fresh legs for Tokyo, effectively blocking the wildcard route for anyone behind him. In the women's 400, Sydney McLaughlin could pocket a national title, then head to Zurich to chase a hurdles wildcard. Pulling off that double crowns her season as genius. Misfire in Zurich, and she becomes the first American world record holder to skip the very event she redefined. Finally, the long hurdles. Rai Benjamin is chasing rhythm, not loopholes. He wants a 46.4 victory in Eugene, a statement that forces Karsten Warholm to feel a little tightness of his own. Jasmine Jones, however, might need Zurich insurance. If she wins Eugene in 52.9 and then claims the Zurich wildcard, Dalila Muhammad and Anna Cockrell must beat both her time and her late season form, or risk turning into spectators. Bottom line, Eugene hands out the first 3 tickets. Zurich holds an extra key, and any athlete who gambles wrong could watch an entire championship year evaporate like sweat off the home stretch. The gun in Eugene will set the table. Zurich's bell lap will decide who actually gets to eat in Tokyo.